Hey Village, it is a rainy day in Cincinnati, but luckily, even though we're stuck at home, we have some really fun Kiwico crates to explore. Thank you Kiwico for sponsoring this video. More about them later. But also in this video, I want to talk about a huge family trip that we had planned that we had to end up canceling. We had the flight, we had the Airbnb, we had the tickets. We spent thousands of dollars to get everything lined up. We had started buying clothes for the kids. We started buying travel accessories. I mean, we went all out because it was something I was looking forward to and we had to cancel it. So I'm going to talk about how much money we lost by canceling this trip and also if we plan to try again. Right now, Darcy and I are gonna work on 2 of the Kiwi crates that we got. These are Halloween themed and they're gonna be a lot of fun. Darcy and I are gonna work on these dinosaur and unicorn crates, one for her, one for Sawyer. She's gonna love running around as a unicorn, and I'm sure Sawyer is gonna look amazing in this dinosaur. We also have a haunted house blueprint that we're gonna make a little bit closer to Halloween. Darcy said it's the perfect decoration and it lights up, which is super cool. And Sawyer has a trick-or-treat tote that he can put together. And what we love about Kiwico is it's a great resource for learning at home, and that's just what we need with Darcy home half the day and now Sawyer home all day. These crates inspire kids to see themselves as makers, with engineering, creating their own innovative designs and outcomes. And I just love watching our kids grow their problem-solving skills. Kiwico's Halloween crates are among their most popular and noteworthy projects of the whole year. Just like their subscription lines, they're designed for kids of all ages. However, the Halloween projects are available for a one-time purchase, rather than a subscription. So this is a perfect way to introduce your family and your kids to Kiwico. The crates are super convenient because they include everything you need for your projects. So if you're ready for your kids to try out Kiwico and check out their super fun Halloween crates, head over to kiwico.com/btvhalloween. And of course, there will be a link in the description below. Kiwico crates have been a really cool way for us to introduce our kids to STEAM, science, technology, engineering, and math. They're a lot of fun to have on hand, especially if you have kids who are in foster care staying with you. It gives them a sense of ownership and shows them really what they're capable of. Now I'm going to talk to you guys about the fiasco of our vacation planning and basically how much money we lost because we had to cancel. It pains me to think about right now our family should be at Disney. We should have our Mickey ears on. We should be dancing down the street, waiting in lines for the Dumbo ride, for Splash Mountain, all of the fun we should be having right now. And this was a $4,000 trip that we had planned. We started planning this in the middle of June. We went kind of all out planning ahead because you kind of have to do that if you're going to visit Orlando and you're planning to go to Disney and Universal, because we were going to go to Universal too. I would not miss the opportunity to go to Harry Potter World. But we had booked our flights. We were flying Frontier. We had the kids fly free, so it saved us a little bit of money. We had bought our Disney tickets so that we can go ahead and make our reservations. I even made a meal reservation for the restaurant Be Our Guest because I knew that that kind of booked up really quick. So we had that all set up. We had picked an amazing Airbnb in the area. We don't do the resorts just because we like to be a little bit on a budget, but I found this Airbnb that had a private pool in the back. It had a Harry Potter themed room. It was so clean. It had an extra room, so we were actually trying to get Miss A to come with us, but it wasn't gonna be likely. So we ended up inviting John's mom, and she was gonna come on the trip with us as well. I went to the secondhand store and I bought the kids Mickey and Disney clothes, just a whole bunch of different things. I started stocking up on travel essentials. I started setting everything away. I was stoked. And really, can you blame us? Because I think all of us at this point, you know, the numbers of the pandemic were super flat. We thought that we were in the clear. We didn't have any idea that another surge was gonna happen. And it was just exciting to have these fun plans and know that we're gonna gonna be able to like have an incredible once in a lifetime trip, because this was gonna be the kids' first time at Disney for both of them. Darcy is at the perfect age. She loves Disney. We started even watching all the Disney movies in order. So we started with the original Snow White, and we started making our way chronologically from release date through all of the movies. And I think we got, I know we saw The Jungle Book and Aristocrats. We were somewhere like around that time period. And regardless of how you feel and the choices that you're making for you and your family around this pandemic, really I just want to talk a brief minute about how we're choosing to handle it, because it is kind of our channel, so it kind of makes sense for us to talk about, you know, our thoughts and what choices we're making. And the numbers that we were seeing, you know, leading up after June, as we were getting into August, they weren't looking good. We kept hoping that it would break and that we would still somehow be able to salvage the trip, but we were about a month out and we realized, you know, these numbers are not getting any better. So we started having really serious talks, John and I together, about what was gonna be best for our family. And, you know, when we were thinking about it and we were weighing all of the risks, the rewards, the costs, it just finally came down to a really hard choice, but also kind of an easy choice to go ahead and cancel the trip. We knew that Darcy at 5 years old, you know, it's still not even an option for her to even, you know, think about getting a vaccine, let alone Sawyer, who's 2 years old. And while John and I feel comfortable like traveling because, you know, we can wear our masks properly, we can wash our hands, we can keep away from people, it just didn't make sense to put the kids in that position, especially with Sawyer, because he doesn't wear his mask for super long periods of time. He still sucks his thumb. So everything that he touches goes into his mouth. And that's just not something that we want in a place like Disney and Universal, where people are traveling from a lot of different places and you really don't know how safe they're being. So it was a super hard but easy decision at the end of the day to cancel our trip, because Disney isn't going anywhere. You know, this pandemic is not going to last forever. I do believe that. And so we knew that this wasn't going to be a, you know, we're not going to be able to go back for, you know, a really long time. We just knew that right now this wasn't the time. And we made the mistake of, in June, instead of just picking up and going, which we would have felt a lot better about doing that, we planned ahead, and you know, that was a risk. We took a gamble, and you know, that's what made it kind of like not feel great for us to go. And now we're prepared that the next time that the numbers are a little bit better, especially in Florida, we're just gonna pick up and go. We're not gonna plan ahead. We have everything, you know, pretty much in order. We're gonna find whatever Airbnb we can. We're gonna get our tickets, any flight, and we're just gonna go when it feels right. But I have to talk to you about the cancellation process, because that is what was honestly at the top of my mind. It's like, how much is this gonna cost us? Because like I said, we had got our Airbnb, we had purchased our flight tickets, and we also went ahead and got our tickets for Disney. We hadn't yet bought them for Universal. So we started with Disney, and I pretty much knew that they would have a decent policy about exchanging the dates of your tickets. I wasn't expecting a full refund. I just wanted to know that we could kind of push it into the future. So the way that Disney has it set up is you can go in, you can go to your My Disney experience, you can go to your reservation and your tickets, and you can change your tickets. Now, different dates have different values, different ticket prices. And so what we did is we pushed it out as far as we felt comfortable, where we found a $0 day. That means that the day that we had originally picked, you know, we were pushing it out to a day that was that same value. So for us, we were able to push it out until August, and we felt really good about that. If we decide to go sooner, we can always change and pay the difference if the value goes up. But we felt really good about pushing out until August for at least right now. Next, I was worried about our flight, because we were flying Frontier, which is kind of a penny pinching airline. So I was worried that they were gonna take our money and run, or we'd have to pay a lot of money up front to even just change the days. So we were looking, and I was trying to hedge my bets that they would actually change. I don't know if you guys have had this happen before, but when an airline will change the flight day or time, So they just change your itinerary. You have the option a lot of times to cancel without a penalty. So we were kind of waiting to see if that was gonna happen, and it wasn't happening. So when we got even closer to the date, I went back, I looked at their policy, because originally the policy was that if you wanted to cancel or change your reservation, you had to pay, I think, $40 per ticket per way. So we were talking over $300 to change our tickets. But ultimately, when we went back online to take a look at what their policy was, they said that they were having no change fees through the end of September, and this absolutely saved us. So we were able to cancel our tickets, and we now have a credit. So again, when we're ready to have that trip, we're just gonna use that credit. There's a chance that we're gonna have to pay a little bit more depending on the value, the price of that flight at that time. But this was like the best case scenario. I was even wondering if we were gonna have to pick a future day and just like gamble again, that things were gonna be better at that point. But they actually give 365 days, 1 full year, to book with that credit. Now, Airbnb, this was giving me a heart attack, because when I looked at our reservation and the cancellation policy that the host and Airbnb had, it originally said that there was going to be no refund. I think they might have said half a refund, but no, we actually had only paid half. So we were gonna lose that half that we paid, which was, over $300. And I really just felt compelled to reach out to the host to explain the situation, that we were traveling with young kids and that we didn't really feel comfortable making this trip. We wanted to check to see if they would be a little bit flexible, and they were super understanding. They gave us about 2 days to make a decision, because I made sure at the time that we, hadn't fully decided, but we wanted to explore our options and to see what all the cancellation policies and what the costs were going to be. And so they just told us, yeah, we understand if you can decide within 2 days, that'll give us an opportunity to rebook the space. And ultimately we got an almost full refund. We were refunded everything that we paid them. The only thing that we were out were the fees that were paid to Airbnb. So grand total, the cost of canceling our vacation, where we had paid close to $2,000 ahead of time for this trip, we actually only lost out on $132. And yes, we're not in Orlando right now. We're not going to the beach. We're not gonna see Mickey. We're not gonna go to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. But for now, we feel really good about putting this vacation on hold. So if you're making any travel plans, or you have any that are upcoming, just keep an eye on those policies. Don't feel like you're stuck on anything. John and I actually have a really fun trip that we are gonna go on next month. We do feel really safe about this vacation. It's just him and I. We're actually gonna go to Barbados. We have not been on a trip like this since our honeymoon. So we're really, really excited about this trip, and we feel really safe because, again, him and I, we can wash our hands, we can wear our masks. Actually, Barbados, you have to have a negative test before you get into the country. So it's a much lower risk, and we're not bringing the kids, and so it just feels a little bit right. So again, if you're traveling, and especially with young ones, just know that there are different options, and you can always call customer service or the people that you're making plans with, and see what options are available. We will keep you posted when we do have this trip to Disney and Universal. It's gonna be a lot of fun when it comes, and I promise you our bags are like packed and ready to go. We can go tomorrow if things get better, but that seems a little unlikely. We might be waiting a few months. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.